Hey guys, it's only me, and this video is all about who the hell is Coach Kelly? Me. So I'm basically been inspired to create this video for you because I had recently seen a post in another group. It was a screenshot of my conversation with another studio owner. So and it was basically asking who I am, which is fine. And it can be weird, like who is this person? So I just thought I'd put it out there. So you probably have heard of me either two ways. You may have come across my free ebook, which is an advert going around on Facebook that I've created for you to basically read my story and how I can help. So it just gives my 3 top tips on bringing in new customers to your business. And it just gives you a little bit of a story of my background as well. So you may have known me a little bit from that, or you may have had a message from me. So I decided that I thought I'm going to go direct to you as a business owner. So I went onto Facebook and found your page and then sent you a message to say, hey, I'm Coach Kelly. I'm also another studio owner. I completely understand, how hard it is to bring new customers in or figure out how Facebook works with their advertising. So here's my Facebook page, which has got lots of different tips and stuff to help you grow your business. So it wasn't a direct selling. I don't want to directly sell you anything at this point. It's more about you. I just want to help you grow your business and help you bring in more customers the way I've done for mine. So a little bit of a story on why I went down the Facebook marketing route. And we'll go from there. So when I started Pole when I was 21, so I'm 30 now, so it's 9 years ago. And I started just in the local studio to me, and it wasn't very consistent. I still remember my very first lesson, and I was doing a fireman spin and I couldn't even get my feet off the floor. I was so frustrated. I had no grip. I was unstrung. I was slipping. And I remember obviously sweeping my leg around. I was so vivid. I can just remember sweeping my leg around and trying to lift my other leg up and straight on the floor. And I did that pretty much all lesson. I went back. I don't know why, but I'm glad I did. So yeah, so that's how I started. And I went every so often. I was a carer at the time, so I just used to fit in any of the classes around my work. And then I went from there. So then I carried on training for about 5 years, here and there. Sometimes I'd have a little bit of a break or I was away with work. So it wasn't always consistent. And then I had this whole life changed an experience where I was just in a bad place. I had a really awful relationship at the time. I was also training as a midwife, and things sort of turned sour. In the end, I ended up moving back with my nan and started to rebuild my life a little bit, but because of that direction change, I wanted to change my life completely. So I actually stopped doing midwifery and I trained to become a fitness instructor. Okay, so gym instructor. So that's what I did to start with. Is I thought, right, I need a change. I did like to go to the gym at the time, and I thought, right, I'm going to become a gym instructor. So I did my training whilst I was still being a carer. And so I went from there, and once I finished my gym qualification, I then went and did my pole certification as well. So that's how I started to get into the instruction side. Now, there was only a couple of studios in my area and nobody was taken on. Usually, there isn't that expansion for you to work unless you're already in there, and there wasn't for me. So I thought, well, if I really want to teach pole, the only way I'm going to do that is if I teach it myself. So that is the whole reason, and the only reason, that I actually started my own business. Is because I wanted to teach pole. So, and because I was already a gym instructor, I was previously working in a couple of local gyms to me. So I just hired their studios, and I bought 4 X stages. So I just transported those around to each studio. And so that's how I started my business. I just started in just hiring my gym studio per hour, setting up all the poles, and started generating enough business that way. And I was quite lucky because obviously working in a gym, I always could interact with people anyway, and that's how I managed to get my clientele going. So after nearly 6 months, I got to a point where I was like, I can't grow enough without having my own studio. So because I was hiring per hour, I was limited to a certain time, which was off peak, so it was quite the later time, and I could only do like 2 days in the week because that's all they had availability wise on their timetable. So I was like, what do I do? Like, do I carry on or do I risk it and set up my own studio? So I risked it. I was still living at home with my nan at the time, so it just meant that, you know, if I was going to do it, now was the good time. So I just thought, you know, if I have to get a certain amount to pay my rent, then that's what I'm going to do it. So I'm going to work really hard to do that. So that's what I did. I found my own studio, the studio I've still got now. I started building that one up, and it was a huge change because the amount of rent was like triple the amount that I was paying, but it did mean that I had 24-hour access 7 days a week. So it meant I wasn't restricted to what I could do. I could provide private training. I basically worked my socks off, and it was only me at the time. So I completely get it if you're completely new set up, or you are, you know, you wanting to grow your business and take somebody else on. I totally get that. And yeah, so that's where I started. And yeah, so I started with Facebook marketing because I wanted to grow my business and attract more customers, just like most of us do. And I found Facebook worked the best, but I still really struggled. So even though I was paying out for Facebook advertising that I was doing myself, so I was basically boosting posts, I noticed that I was getting a lot of likes, but likes wasn't always new customers. And for me, I needed to change that, and I needed to bring in new customers, which is where I went down the Facebook route. So, you know, I'm not saying that I'm an expert. I'm basically providing my, you know, what I've done. So I can only give you advice on something that I've done myself, and that's basically it. So I'm no way saying that I'm an expert in Facebook marketing and I can get you all these things, but if it worked for me, I'm hoping it can work for you too. And I've learned so much about Facebook marketing that, you know, it's really silly that I couldn't, you know, help you out and tell you where you're going wrong in certain points. So I didn't realize like what I needed to put in Facebook ads, and I was just basically winging it, saying, you know, buy this now, it's on this day, and I wasn't giving them anything to want to come and join me, even though I thought I did. So yeah, it was a really odd feeling and knowing as soon as I corrected my Facebook marketing, how my business grew and I had so many more customers. The first time I actually got my head around the Facebook marketing and thought, right, I'm really going to start advertising the way I have learnt. I filled 4 classes, which have 12 people in, within September. So September can be quite a good month for us anyway, but I have never been able to fill 4 new classes with new people in 1 month. And I did, just with Facebook marketing. And, you know, I spent no more money than previously. It was just what I wrote in it. And I've noticed this, I can see the same in a lot of other studio owners' advertisements. So you may be exactly the same and you're like, why is this not working? And it could be that you just need tweaking it. So this is what I'm all about. This is what I want to help you, show me what you're advertising, show me your ad copy, show me your images, and then hopefully I'll be able to help you and give you some guidance. And that's basically what I want to try and see that I can do for you. So I don't just help studio owners as well. I've actually recently helped some beauty therapists with their training. And it's been amazing to see just the tweaks that they need. They have had so much more interaction. They've actually had people emailing them and actually, wanting what we're offering. And the great thing about Facebook is that you can directly talk to certain people. So unlike traditional marketing, so if you just put, leaflets out into one area, you're not targeting a specific individual. So, you could have, loads of I don't know, students in one area, and then it might be, you know, mums in another, which is great. But if it's not your target market, then you're going to be wasting a lot of money on your leaflets and getting them distributed. So yeah, with Facebook, you can go, right, I just want to target working women between 25 and 35, who loves chocolate and likes the colour purple, because I love purple. You might be able to tell through my branding. So that's basically what I'm all about. Now, like I said, I'm not I don't class myself as an expert. I'm just basically giving you my advice of what I've done, and how I might be able to help you with what I've learnt. And last year was, you know, our worst year, in not the fact that we had so many customers, but I had a bit of a business blip. So I sort of got, was living in ego, and I decided that I was going to open up or expand my studio basically. And it was a bit of a, I was just basically living ego. And at the time, and I think it was a bit more of, it was just rebelling, I believe, because last year at the beginning of the year, I had two of my instructors up and leave and set up their own studio, literally like 5 minutes down the road. And it was something that I sort of had an inkling about, and which is what then I produced new contracts and they didn't want to sign it, blah blah blah, gave me all sorts of excuses, and then you know, found out that they actually were already opening another place anyway. So that was a bit of a shit period, should we say. And yeah, they did take, you know, a lot of my aerial clientele, and I sort of went, you know what, bugger you, I'm going to make sure that I do bigger and better. And I did, and I made sure that I got my Facebook, so I was really hard on my Facebook marketing. I studied a lot. I did all sorts of courses. I had one-to-one training. I had my own coach. I tried everything, spent a lot of money on investing in my business to make sure that I could put the advertising out there. So once I did that at the beginning of the year, I thought, yeah, I can do this, you know, living in ego. I was like, oh, I'm going to expand, blah, 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 show you. And yeah, so that didn't go too well when two of my instructors then become injured. I also then had a holiday, and it was not good. So we were having enough customers, I just didn't have enough staff to teach them. So that was a nightmare. And because I didn't have enough staff to teach them, it meant that I would struggle to pay my extra rent on the expansion. And I actually thought at one point, shit, this is it, like I can't, what else can I do? You know yourself, it takes a long time to train to become an instructor, because you need that experience, you know, you need at least a year doing pole, and I just didn't have anybody that I could train up to teach there and then. So I just thought, I've buggered it, I've literally fucked up my business. And that's when I was just like, I have to do something now, and I need to take responsibility for my actions. I can't expect my instructors to see my business the same way as I do, because it's not their business, it's mine, and it's my responsibility. And it wasn't until I took responsibility and ownership of, you know, living in ego. I mean, there was no need for me, you know, to expand to, you know, extra space. We've got a fabulous bunch of instructors, got a lovely team, and you know, we've got the weekends, we've got a lot more time. So that's when I just like, right, let's go back to basics, let's get right back on this Facebook advertising. I now got a studio manager, and I have got another trainee instructor, so now I know that I've got enough to keep going, and that I can work towards, you know, having 2 full-time instructors, because I currently just have the one, and then I've got at least 4 part-time instructors as well. So once I made that shift in my mind that actually, you know, you need to be getting out of this living in ego and blame, because I just totally blamed my last instructor. I'm going to leave it. That was all your fault. You know, you took my clientele. But actually, that's down to me. That's my responsibility. And you know, I did it once. I brought those customers into my business. I can bring more customers into my business, and I did that with Facebook. And just this week, actually, if you're not part of the Facebook group, so Fully Booked with Coach Kelly, I was talking about how I filled my taster session up with, you know, fully booked it, and it cost me less than £15 to do that. And then I had 7 sign up to a membership or a package of ours. So that's a massive deal to have 7 new customers, and it just costs £15 in Facebook advertising. I mean, I think that's crazy, and I think that's freaking awesome, which is why I love it and why I'm so passionate to share my experiences with you, to hopefully help you do the same. Because if we're all in, you know, pole and aerial studio or fitness, or, you know, have a service business, then there's no reason why it wouldn't work for you. And I really want to see that, you know, that it can work. And that's what I'm here for, to see, you know, even if there's something that I don't know the answer to, I really want to go and help you. So I'll go and find the answer to be able to hopefully give you the results that you need for your business. So I hope that makes sense. One of the posts was, is this a scam? I'm not a scam. I basically just have a passion to help you guys and see where it leads. So if you want to jump on board, just, you can just like the page, or, come and join in the Facebook groups, come and stalk us for a bit first and just see what we're all about. And then if you've got any questions, I really just want to help and see, that I can give you the same results as I've done mine. So now I've got to the point that even though all that hiccup last year, this year I've managed to come out of the business completely, because like I said, I just took on a studio manager who's going to be taking the rest of what I was doing in the studio, so I can work on the studio, so on the business, doing all the marketing, which means that I can help you do the same, because I'm going to be doing it for mine anyway, so why can't I help you out at the same time? So that's probably a bit of a ramble, but hopefully you're not too bored. But just to say that I am human, I do want to help, and I totally get that having a pole and aerial studio is super stressful. And if we can help you with bringing more customers to your business just by tweaking some of your Facebook ads, then we're all good to go. So thanks for listening, guys, and hopefully I'll speak to you soon.